What's going on, everyone? Today's video is going to be a little bit different than I normally do. It's going to be a little bit more vlog type. I'm going to shoot a quick review on these Behringer B215 and B212Ds, and but before that I have a few places I need to run. I'm going to go pick up a lint roller because my dogs are just shedding. I have hair everywhere. So I'm going to run to the store, and then I think I'm going to stop and finally give in and buy a Gorilla Pod for the camera to make my life a lot easier. So you guys are going to be coming with me. And of course I go to leave, and I came out to pretty much a flat tire. Not quite, but almost. Enough where I have to put air in it. Man, you guys ever just have like an experience where you just feel happy to be alive? On the way back from going to Best Buy, there was a huge accident right next to where I was going. It was like, I must have missed it by like 5 minutes. I went into Best Buy and came outside, and there was fire trucks and police and everything everywhere. Just makes you thankful that it didn't happen to you, you know? I feel terrible for whoever it happened to. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. I like to take a little bit of a different approach to how I review things. I enjoy watching reviews of new equipment, but the problem is we just really have no idea how it holds up over time. So what I like to do is review stuff that I've been using for years. So today is going to be a little bit controversial. You know, there's certain companies in the DJ industry that you just know are quality, like Denon, Rain, Pioneer, companies like that, that you know that when you buy it, it's just going to be a quality item. It's going to last you for years. Then there's some stuff that's like just cheap, bottom of the bin type gear that you just have no idea how it's going to hold up. Behringer's one of those companies to me. They haven't made very good gear for a very long time, and so they kind of had this reputation of just being unreliable or unprofessional. But then sometimes these companies make something that just kind of blows you away with the quality. And the speakers that I'm reviewing today are kind of just that. I bought them back in 2011 just because I needed some extra speakers. I think I have had 12 or 14 of them within our company so far, and every single one of them has been absolutely phenomenal. These speakers to me are by far the best beginner DJ speaker, or at least somebody on a budget. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to pull off the shelf one of these that are in the absolute worst condition. I've had this one since 2011, I believe. So this is the B215D, but we also own the B212Ds as well. Both phenomenal speakers. I'll tell you what, this speaker's been through some stuff. If it could talk, it would tell you how much we beat up on it. Alright, so we're going to talk about the design first of all. As you can see, this thing has been through a lot with us. This is the only 15 that we have, but we also have, I don't know, like 12 of the 12-inch versions. I should go get one off the shelf, and maybe later on I will bring it in. So originally I was just going to show you the 15-inch version, but you know what? I think if you're a beginner, the 12-inch version is probably what you're gonna want. As you can see, both of these are pretty beat up at this point. We use these a lot. So, but if you notice that this is a plastic molded speaker, now it has some pros and cons to it. The pros are that it's extremely lightweight and very compact design. The cons are that, as you can see, that these things get beat up so easily, so they do get scratched up a ton. Now, keep in mind that we haven't been easy on these speakers, so they are gonna get pretty beat up, especially if you just throw them in trailers, no bags or anything like that. The other nice thing about these is that, as you can see, there's an angled spot on the back so that you can actually turn these and use these as monitors as well. There is one negative that I wish they would change, and that's where they put the IEC power input on here. It's a little bit off center, and because of that, when you lay it on the side with this facing down, it does kind of put a little bit of tension on the cord. This is the power amp on here. Here's your level, highs and lows, XLR in, XLR out, as well as 1/4 inch in. Now we have hooked up microphones directly to this, and it does work pretty well. So if you're just using it for like a small PA, maybe for a church or rentals, this does work really well for that. You won't need an external mixer or anything like that. Now if you come around to the front, you see that it's a fully metal grill up here, which these do hold up pretty nicely, but I can say that we've removed some dents from these. They're pretty easy to pop off. We've repainted them before. It's not really a big deal. And if I had anything to critique on here, it would be the yellow Behringer logo. The earlier versions of these actually had black logos. And to me, it looked a lot nicer. I wish they would just go back to that. Now let me get out some of the specs here that they list on their websites. It says the 12s have a frequency response of 65 to 20 kilohertz, and the 15s have a frequency response of 55 hertz to 20 kilohertz. Now I'm going to tell you right now, these have to be listed as -10 levels. So I will say that I don't think that that's actually what you can expect out of these. What I would expect is somewhere around like maybe 75, 85 hertz or so on the 12s as your bottom end. And then on the 15s, I would say it's probably like 65, 70, somewhere in there as your bottom end. Eventually you're gonna want some subs with these. But the reason I recommend these is that you really don't have to update these anytime soon. So once you get a sub, you can pair these with the sub and it's gonna sound great. Now when it comes to subs, I would recommend going with an 18-inch and not a 15-inch with these, because these speakers are so loud, you're gonna want a sub cabinet that can keep up. Now what I think Behringer did with these is I think that they actually put the same amp in both of these. And I could be wrong on this, but the power ratings, the max rating is 550 watts. And I'm gonna tell you right now that it might be 550 watts at like 2 kilohertz peak for like a nanosecond, but don't believe any manufacturer's peak rating. What I would go by is what was rated on the website for the 12s. The 15s aren't listed properly. This one says that the real wattage is 250 watts for the low frequency driver and 65 watts for the horn, which doesn't seem like a lot, but trust me, these things tend to be really efficient and really loud. The sound from these are generally really clear right out of the box. The highs are nice and crisp, they're not overly harsh. But there is one thing that you should know about these, and that is, I think due to the box design, because these are plastic speakers, the sides and back are very thin. Not like in a not robust way, but just as in it allows a lot of sound backwards, and it tends to happen around the 400, the 300 hertz range. So behind the speakers, it tends to be very muffled and boomy sounding, and the boxes resonate quite a bit. And so the problem with that is it can cause feedback on your microphone. From a DJ's point of view, from behind the speakers, it's going to be very muddy and hard to hear. And because of the resonance that's in the speaker design itself, you can't EQ it out. But out front, they do sound pretty good. Overall, I would say that these complaints are minimal, and I wouldn't worry too much about the boxiness from behind because that's not where your audience is. So from the DJ's perspective, it will be a little bit muddy, but out front, it's going to be nice and clear for you. The resonance that I'm talking about tends to be more of a problem with the 15-inch over the 12, and I think the reason for that is because of the bigger woofer and the bigger box design. It doesn't have as much bracing inside to keep the box from resonating. The 12, because it's so compact and that everything's braced really well because of the size, it doesn't tend to have a lot of that boxiness that the 15-inch has. Now, a lot of other DJs will recommend the Thump series over these for beginning DJs, and I think that that's just wrong. I think that these honestly are the best speakers that you can get as a beginning DJ. The reason being is that these outperform the Thumps in every single category, and I've used them next to each other. So I can honestly say that these do not peak nearly as low as the Thumps. These sound better. I think the box design is better. And to be honest with you, I think these hold up a lot better. Out of all of these that we've owned, I think back in 2010 or 2011 area, I bought 5 of these. I bought 5 of the 15-inch ones in 2010. And then after using those for about 5 years or so, I decided that the boxes were too beat up, as you can see in this. So I sold those off and I bought another 4 of these 12s, and I kept one of the 15s. And I've never had these fail on me. Like every speaker, every one of these that I've owned still works today. This is one of the newer ones from 2015, and I can tell you that we have been playing on these every single weekend, near peaking volumes, and all of them still work. No blown speakers, no blown amps, and to me, I think that they're actually a pretty decent looking speaker design. So the reason I recommend these for DJs that are just starting off, first of all, you can get these used for around the $200 range each. And you can upgrade all of your other gear and hold on to these. They're gonna hold their value for a very long time, especially if you pair these with a sub. Now, we have some DJs that have been DJing with us for like over 20 years, and these are now in their rigs and they take them out every single weekend. I wish there was a way that I could play music through these and show you through YouTube how these actually sound, but unfortunately I can't. All I can do is tell you to go to a Guitar Center or go to Sweetwater or go somewhere where you can actually listen to these and hear them against other speakers in their price range. Once again, don't pay over $200 for these. I'm telling you, there's a ton of them out there. You can buy them used for under $200. So for a pair, if you can get it for $400, I've never paid over $175 for these. I bought these directly from Behringer off of their eBay store. They were selling off B-stock items, and I paid $175 a piece for these. So for $350, you can get a pair of these to start you off. Remember that you're going to grow with these still. You'll be able to add a sub, all your other gear can upgrade before these, and these can be the last item that you upgrade as you make money as a DJ. Now, if you found this content valuable, because it did take me a while to set up and get all this stuff together, please hit the like button, hit subscribe, hit the bell icon, and we'll see you in the next one.